Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. And I want to play this video that I got from the brothers in the chat. Alright, this is dealing with the truckers supposedly going on strike. Alright, now you know what that means when truckers go on strike. Everything is delivered by the way of truck drivers. Everything, right? To your local big box store, on down to the little ones, or really, these little mom and pop shops, they go to the big box stores to get their things, but the big box stores get all their things delivered by the truckers. Okay. And wherever it is, no matter what it is, from food to clothes, different necessities that you need, it all goes back and it's all delivered by the trucker. So Lord willing, I hope this is edifying, and Lord willing, I can pull out a few precepts, as I hear him speak. All right. So without further ado, let's start it.
Truckers were the most important people in the world because we were bringing your toilet paper and your gas to heat your house. Everybody was howling at night for the first responders because we've been out here in the middle of this pandemic this whole time. And how do you thank us? You closed down the restaurants that we eat at. Well, in Wyoming, they're talking about not even plowing the highways this winter because they can't afford it. And to top it all off, 70 million of you guys voted against the trucking industry, against first responders, against oil and gas. We ain't gotta forget this shit.
So, just quick comment. He said 70 million people, right, voted against truckers. Now, I don't know how true that is, but if people did do that, people obviously don't know how these items that they get for their everyday use get to the stores that they go shop to.
Remember back,
right? They have no idea, right? And this is how they get it, by the way of truckers, man. See, and this is what makes Babylonians, right? Americans, right? Because we know America's Babylon are great. He makes things so easy for us. All right, and I mean that for us. You got places like it over there in the Middle East where they got water wells and they still got like farming markets and they still plant a lot of crops and a lot of self-sufficiency going on. To somewhat, right? But not over here. Over here, you could just get up any time of the day and go to your local store and just go shop, pull things right off the shelf, right? But how do these things get on the shelf? From the truckers, man. So people voting against truckers, that's insane. You see, but these people don't think about the steps, the process of how those things get there. These different fast food restaurants, they don't think about the steps. Even for this stuff to be brung to the warehouses, and from the warehouses, once it's done, shipped off to the place that it needs to go to be sold or whatever the case may be. A lot of people don't think about that process, man. Because it's just a quick, let me get this, let me get that, and not have to worry about it. Which voting against that is just completely insane. Well, let's continue.
in April, when truckers were the most important people in the world, because we were bringing your toilet paper and your gas to heat your house. Everybody was howling at night for the first responders, because we've been out here in the middle of this pandemic this whole time. And how do you thank us? Closed down the restaurants that we eat at. We're talking about not even plowing the highways this winter because they can't afford it. And to top it all off, 70 million of you guys voted against the trucking industry, against first responders, against oil and gas. We ain't got to forget this.
And without your stores without these truckers, right? It's good to none. It's just a building, okay? Because the trucks carry the supplies that goes in the building that people buy. So without the truck, your building is good to none. It's just shelter, right? It's no more a place to store up these items or these goods that people go buy. That's why it's called a store, because these are what items are stored. But without the truckers or without the trucks, I think that's what your store is good as none. It's just a shelter, man. Hey, and that's the statement I just made, right? And people notice that, I worked in different food places like food warehouses and regular warehouses. Everything, or most, 9 times out of 10, goes by the way of trucks. 9 times out of 10. All right, so yeah, this is really going to affect people, man. This is going to hurt a lot of things. Let's get into some scriptures because I don't got that much time left. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras 4. Salakia 6. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, now this is another way how storehouses can be found empty. All right, by the way of no trucks, no goods. You see, now we know you have natural famines, and then you have controlled famines. All right, a natural famine may be a way of a pestilence, might mess up the crops and things like that, or may mess up the cattle, or the cattle may get diseases. Will be a cause of a natural famine, right? But then you got your man-made created famine by who? By Esau E. That wants to what? Crush the food supply chain. Get rid of all the local farmers and things like that. Because at the end of the day, E wants to be the one who wants to be the supplier. All right, which he is the supplier, but I mean he wants to be the supplier, of all, meaning there's no other way you can go get your things, by the way thereof, but be strictly dependent upon me. All right, now when we go to the book of Deuteronomy 28, it says what? We should go to him for the want of all things, right? Which is correct, because everything goes through the hands of E. Everything goes through the oversight of E. Deuteronomy 28 verse, let's see. Oh, where's the scripture? Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. And it reads, it says, now this is the curses that happen upon the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Deuteronomy 28 verse 48, it says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in a want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So we have to go, just as a collective group, as a nation, right? As a nation of people, the race of Israel, because we are all one people, we have to go to our oppressor, the leading oppressor, which are the Edomites, our top enemy, for the want of all things. So we got to go to him through everything, whether it's, even our people say they so-called own their own stores or have their own farm. We still have to go through E, because these farmers got to go to who to get the seeds, to plant the crops. They got to go to who to sign the papers to own a property, things like that. So we still got to go to E. Okay? We are under his authority. Right? Now we know the light of the wicked, which is the Edomites, their authority is about to get put out. Their rule and their reign over the earth is about to get put out or shut off, very soon when Yahweh Shai returns. All right, but we got to go to him for the want of all things. And, yes, the other nations got to go through him for the want of all things, too. It still has to go through, E has to basically, the word I want to use is okay it. All right, because he's the head oversight over everything, But we as a nation of people, the Israelites, we definitely got to go to him for the want of all things, because that's a part of our curse. But like I was saying, you have natural famines, but then you got created famines, which E is doing as well. Because like I said, he wants to be that top supplier, and he wants everybody shut out or took out the game. So there is no plan B or no plan C, plan D. All right. And that's how you do it. You wipe out, even though these people ain't competition, but you wipe out all access to things from the people, where you have to going to be dependent upon E and his system to be able to buy and sell, which is going to head and go to the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, that whole system of things. Let's continue a little more. Yeah, so let all you people that was laughing and joking and thinking everything is a game, right? If these truck drivers go through with this, oh, you gonna feel it, Jake. You know, I mean, we know everyone's gonna feel it, but Jake, you gonna feel it.
That group has got 107,000 members, and I bet by the time this video comes pumping out, they're probably at about $1.10 to $1.20. If they start to shut down goods and services, you're going to see major issues start to play out. We are already stressed with the Rona and the lockdown. They just halted all dining in New Jersey. Shanghai just reported cases on hospitalizations are back to where they were in July. The Ukrainian press reported that they're thinking that this news at Pfizer, everything's going to go back to normal. If this dies negative, you know the way the people at work is. It's not about keeping or stopping it. It's more about like the flu shot kind of thing. I think once all this flushes out, this is what we've done. I think people want to follow the flu shot type thing. It's not going to be the panacea.
And that's the point, you know. So I mean, he's going to speak a little bit more, but I think the point is made. Like I was saying, and as the video said, no trucks, no goods. Shalom.